pyramid strength video. So obviously today's video is a little bit more geared towards ladies, but as I was recording it I realised that some of the advice here is applicable to guys as well. So stick around, but we're going to focus a little bit on why women should lift weights, do resistance training, and maybe debunk a couple of the myths that surround this topic. And there's been a lot of progress made, in the field of weightlifting and in bodybuilding for women. And certainly, if you go to a gym now, then you're going to see more women lifting weights and using weights machines than you did, say, 10 years ago. And perhaps this is due to the rise of functional fitness and sports like CrossFit that may be a bit more appealing to women than traditional bodybuilding. But first off, let's debunk a couple of the common myths that women may have around lifting weights. So this is the most common fear that I hear from women when someone suggested to them that they should, do resistance training and start lifting weights. They worry about becoming a massive, big, bulky, hulking bodybuilder. And that's not the physique that most women are after. So let's set the record straight. There's one simple fact of biology that it will explain why most women will never develop a physique like that. And that is testosterone. Women on average have, about 10 times less testosterone than men do, depending on which source or study you look at. The point being, men have significantly more. And this is why the average man has more muscle mass and is stronger than the average women. And even women who weight train, because their testosterone levels are just much lower than men, they're not going to develop big bulky muscles and put on masses of muscle mass as easily as they might think or worry about. And to those who say, well, what about female bodybuilders and powerlifters who are big and bulky? And yes, 2 points here. One, there are always exceptions. There are some women who do have naturally higher levels of testosterone than the average. Secondly, especially in bodybuilding and probably in a lot of other sports, athletes are on drugs and women are no exception. And that's, especially the bodybuilders, those women injecting themselves with testosterone, growth hormone, anabolic steroids, and that's how they get so big and bulky. So if you're not planning to do that, then you're not going to develop that massive bulky physique that you're worried about. So then, second point, of course, those little pink, fluffy, cute 5 kilo dumbbells in the corner of the gym, that's what the women should be going for, right? And just, lifting those, 50 reps for, minutes and hours on end. Absolutely not. That is not weight training. That's a warm-up. Women should not be lifting light when they lift weights. If a woman is made the decision to lift weights or do resistance training, they should train the same way a man would. There's no difference. The only difference is that on average for a given exercise, a woman will probably be using less weight. But, the amount of effort that you put into it, the relative heaviness of the weight should be the same. Women shouldn't be afraid to lift heavy. They should be encouraged to lift heavy. That's how you get the benefits of weight training. And, there's no difference between women and men in this regard. If you want to get a toned body, if you want to get the benefits of weights and weight training, you need to lift heavy as a woman. And I really want to instill that point in women who decide to start lifting weights in the gym. So let's maybe explore a little bit what are the actual benefits of lifting weights and of doing resistance training for women. And know that some of these, quite a few of them, are actually applicable to men as well. First off, this is by far the biggest and number one benefit of lifting weights. Most people, men and women, who start an exercise routine or set foot in the gym, they want to improve their body composition, their physique. They want to lose weight. And for women, they often the goal that women say is that I want to lose weight and tone up a bit. Well, I got some news for you. Tone up a bit actually translates to build a bit of muscle mass. If you just stripped away all the fat and didn't build any muscle, then you'd just be left with a skinny body that doesn't actually look toned and isn't really the physique that you're after. You need to lift some weights and build a bit of muscle mass. And simply just doing cardio or just doing Pilates or yoga, it's not going to give you that benefit. Yeah, you might burn fat, but you're not going to build that little bit of muscle to give you that toned physique that you're after. And the second point to mention here is that actually weight training itself is more effective at burning fat than cardio. You may spend an hour doing cardio and burn more calories in that hour than if you've done an hour of weight training. But there's a concept called EPOC, or excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. And what that essentially means is this is the amount of energy or calories that are burnt after the session finishes. Now with cardio, you pretty much get no or very little EPOC. So you burn more during the session, but then afterwards, in the hours after, you don't burn anything extra. Whereas with weight training, there's a huge EPOC by comparison. So yeah, that 1 hour session itself might not burn as much, but in the the day, even the 2 days afterwards, you burn a lot more energy than you're burning extra energy from the session that you just had. So it's a more effective tool, even just for burning fat, compared to your average aerobic activity that most women tend to doing when they start an exercise routine. Aside from the physique benefits, weight training and resistance training doesn't just strengthen your muscles, it strengthens a lot of the other tissues in your body, specifically your bones, ligaments and joints. And I want to focus a little bit on bone health here and why this is particularly important for women. So, all of us, men and women, do start losing bone density from our mid-30s onwards. But in women specifically, this is accelerated when they hit the menopause, and they're at higher risk of developing osteoporosis and getting stress fractures or impact fractures as a result of this. And weight training is one really effective way to try and mitigate that risk and improve your bone health. If you've got a solid base of strong bones and good bone density, and even continue weight training as you go into your middle and older age, which I'd encourage everyone to do, then you will really reduce your risk of developing osteoporosis and of developing fractures. So when you look at your holistic health overall, you don't get these benefits simply from running or any form of aerobics or cardio. You really need some heavy resistance on your body to actually get these bone strengthening benefits. And that's the second reason why I think it's vital to include weight training as part of your exercise routine for women. Weightlifting, unlike any other exercise, really develops functional real-world strength. I mean, just think about it, deadlifting, picking a weight up off the floor, that's essentially picking your shopping or picking your bag up off the floor. Pressing a weight overhead, that's putting something in an overhead cabin in the aeroplane, or putting something into a high-up cupboard. All those exercises translate into real-world strength that will make day-to-day activities and day-to-day life just much easier. And I think this then leads to sort of a secondary point around sort of your inner emotional and mental well-being. And what I mean by that is that whether we like to admit it or not, all of us care about our physical appearance and our physical capabilities and how other people in the world perceive us physically. And probably this is something that applies more to women than men, and which is why I've included it in this video. And by lifting weights and by improving your physique, and if you feel that your body's getting better, you're losing fat, you're building a bit of muscle and getting that toned look that you want, and you're outwardly stronger as a person, you're able to do more activities for yourself, that self-confidence will be really apparent and project from yourself and onto others. And I think that that inner strength and independence is really something that's a key quality that women can develop and gain out of lifting weights and resistance training that maybe they wouldn't from other forms of exercise. So aside from the overt physique and physical benefits, I think there's a real emotional and mental benefit that can be gained from lifting weights and incorporating it into your exercise routine. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you got any questions, hit me up in the comments below. Till next time.